I am on a mission. If you watched that last video, about the solar and the power station and everything, I am clearly on a mission. Get over here. Get over here. I know Bella puts sometimes my buddy puts stuff out on the front porch, scraps for the cats. There's got some good hunting cats around here, and sometimes she wants to sneak up and go get that. Have a little snack of that if there's any leftovers. You don't need any of that. All right, back to my mission here, and this is part of it too. It's good morning, Rad Rover. This is another thing that it's part of my charging requirements. That is a big old battery on there, and it takes a lot of power to charge that. So it's another challenge of having enough power to do the things I like to do. There's the basics of let's back up over here a minute. There's the basics of the RV and everyday living, and we got toys like the drone and the e-bike and stuff. Some of these things have pretty big batteries, and that's just an extra pull on my needs, on my power needs and supply, and you know what I'm saying. And I'm tired of being one of those that is short on power, and in them winter months, and I take the EBL power station or the Jackery over to charge it up over at a friend's that has more power than I do, that has a more robust system than I do. Here and there in a pinch, it's not bad to go do that. A couple of my friends have more power, even in the short. They planned right. They even in the short winter days of winter, short hours of daylight, they have enough solar going on. They get plenty. It's I need something charged up, yeah, bring it over. And so that's how, in the wintertime, that's how I'll charge my e-bike up, take it over to a friend's and plug it in over there, or like I say, take one of those little power stations over and charge it up, and then I'll take it back and make coffee. I like to use my coffee maker instead of using the stovetop method and all that. It's this big juggling act that I'm not gonna do that this year. I want to have my own power and then some, and if somebody else needs some, hey, bring it over here. Now I can charge it too. Now I have enough, a robust enough system that I'm one of those. It's not a problem any longer. So that's the mission I want to conquer. So I have a solution, even if it's short term, because it's gonna take me a bit. Actually, I'm getting all the pieces and parts together, but we got to get out of here soon. It's just time. The weather is closing in. We're gonna run out of time, and I want to get on the road. So I need to get all the pieces together as far as getting them all assembled and wired and everything. I'm gonna do that, in the coming weeks and getting closer to winter. But for right now, I have a solution, and even if after all this I still am coming up short with my onboard system, I still have a way that power's not gonna be a problem. So what it is another one of these power stations, only something's different about this one. This thing is twice as big, and it's not just that. It has a feature that will change everything. And it is a 2,000 watt power station from a company, I think it's OUKITEL. Not sure exactly on that pronunciation, but this one feature about the rapid charging technology is going to be a game changer. I don't normally do this unboxing portion here to save time. I mean, taking it out of the box. I'm half done. I took it out of its main shipping box. Yeah, I usually avoid this part of it. Like, taking out of the box is kind of boring, but somehow, for some reason, I feel compelled to do it with this one. Just because. I'm not sure why. Isn't that great? Phone packaging thing. Let's do this a minute. easily unboxed. Okay, that's it. Outdoor generator, the user manual, probably a warranty registration card. Oh, now this is nice. Somebody used their head. Huh. This has a storage compartment in the top here to keep the cables. It's about time somebody thought of that. I hate cables laying around, and then you get different devices and you have different cables. You end up putting them, trying to be organized, putting them all in a box or a basket somewhere. It's like, this cable's, what's this cable for and what's that cable for? They get mixed up, and I mean, I struggle with that. The AC, the wall plug, charge it that way. The solar adapter, and the DC like cigarette lighter adapter, all nice and neat in that department. Thumbs up. I'm gonna give them 5 stars just for that idea. We're gonna check this thing out here real quick. Let's power it on. Oh, they usually gotta hold them in for like 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, let me turn this around a little bit. Let's see. Let's do this. Hang on, bear with me. That's a little better. What do we got here? Not sure what that is. Time remaining, 73 hours of not being used under the current load condition, which is nothing. It has 32% charge right now, so yeah, we're gonna top it off. The top numbers is the input, like for when you're charging, and the bottom numbers output of what you're using. Very useful information. Let's see now. USBs, the quick charge USBs, and the USB-C, up to 100 watts on those. All right, we'll not blind the camera out with the. Yes, we will. Okay. And then, yeah, it has the SOS emergency. Okay, how do we turn that off? Okay. What else we got? 12 volt. I think it's all. This is a 12 volt. I'm not sure. What is that? These are all outlets, and then the cigarette type one, and the other 12 volt outlets. And then over here on this side is the. It's nice. It's all kind of protected in the door. The charging side of things. The 110. You know, the wall outlet, and then the connection for solar. And there's a reset button here. Let me see. Yeah, 2 nice handles. It's over here. The yeah, the 110 outlets. All right. So for right now, we're just gonna plug this in and let it charge, and then we'll come back. And I think at the rate of 1100 watts, that this is gonna charge pretty quickly in about an hour. Well, it's already at 33%, so yeah, it's actually going to charge faster than that. I think it's rated at from 0. If you run it the whole way down to 0, it will charge in, I forget on this one, an hour, hour and a half. But what's nice is like the smaller ones, the 1000s, like that EBL and the Jackery, those will they're half as much power, but they take 7 to 8 hours to charge. So, I mean, they all have that pass-through power or feature that you could have them plugged in, charging, and have something plugged into them. In other words, the 110 goes like straight through them. Meanwhile, they are charging. So, you know, I can use the other ones while they're plugged in and charging, but the point is they have to be plugged in. You know, for that amount of period, you have to have some source, whether you're plugged into a house or a campground or have a generator running. That's what I was getting to, is, you know, you have to run your generator that long to charge it. Where if these, I can just run the generator for an hour, hour and a half, and I have 2,000 watts available. Now think about this a minute. If I still fell with all that solar up there And you know, it's still, I'm coming up short because of the residential refrigerator and all the other stuff I have going on in the RV. And I have to run the generator here, and it's going through the house, the onboard charger, to charge up my house batteries to get caught back up. You know, the days are shorter and you get some cloudy days, and the onboard batteries kind of get lower and lower. You know, just to run the generator and bring my house batteries back up, I have to run that generator. It's dang near an all-day event, because this only has a 55 amp battery charger. It's 3-stage, so at the beginning it's at 55 amps. As the batteries got a little bit happier, then it drops down to like 30 or 35 amps. And then once the batteries get a little happier yet, like up to about 90%, it drops off to about 10 amps. It probably takes longer to get that last 90, or that last 10% from 90, to get your batteries really happy and fully topped off. It probably takes longer to get that last 10% than it did all the previous. So it's a long event when it comes, when they eventually get that low that it becomes a generator day, to get everything all caught back up again. Now, what that quick charging battery box, station, generator, whatever you call it, what that 2,000 watt box does for me, and with that fast charging ability, what that does is I can run that, I can charge that in an hour, hour and a half, shut the generator off, and I can plug the RV into that box. And so what, if this onboard charger at 55 watts, and if it wants to take all day doing it, whatever, that's fine. That will have the power to do that quietly. You see, it's like if I'm running that generator all the time, I need to run an all-day event. If I could just take all that power at one time, put it in the box, and slow feed it into it, yeah, get that runtime over with. Just give me all the power at once, and then I can shut that off and kind of slow feed that. It's like putting all that power in a box. Well, I am. It's a battery box. So you see what that does? If I, even though I have to play catch up for a day, I don't have to run the generator all day. That's that changes things. That'd be so much nicer. That'd be so much nicer. You know, and I think I'm gonna do pretty good with my solar setup when I get it in that new lithium battery I'm getting, and taking part of that and dedicating it to the lithium battery in the refrigerator. I think the changes I'm making, I think we're gonna be okay. But I'll have, either way, I'll have the extra power. Same thing with charging that e-bike. That's an all-day event. That battery takes a surprisingly long time to charge, and I can charge it without depleting my lead acid batteries, and I don't have to run the generator all day to charge it. I can plug it into that thing and charge it silently. Again, that's an all-day event, charging that thing up. It's crazy how long that takes, but I can just get all the power I need in a very short time. I run the generator, throw some power in that big box, shut the generator off, and just let that trickle charge in there in peace and quiet without the generator running. Does that all make sense? So let's see how we're doing. We were just over there for 5 or 10 minutes of me yakking away here. How are we doing here? Is this touchscreen? Up to 41. So it's coming along pretty good. Right now, I am purposely running the batteries down in the RV. I've unplugged from the garage. There it is. Pulled the plug, set it to the side over there. We're unplugged from the garage, and I turned the air conditioner on, the window unit, which is this way. I turned the rear window unit on, plugged it into my, I plugged it into my inverter. So I'm running the air conditioner right now, and I'm gonna intentionally run these batteries down a bit, because we're gonna try something. See, I need to prove out all my thinking, my ideas. You know, up here it works, but does it really work? Let's see how we're doing here. We're up to 52%. All right, moving along. That's actually gonna take a while to run my batteries down with just running that window air conditioner. Got I got 380 amp hours. I forget what it turns into in watt hours, and I just can't do it in my head right now. But I know how to run it down faster. Oh boy, this is gonna do it. I hope I don't hurt my... Uh-oh. Alright, we're getting some warnings there. We're pulling a lot of power now. Actually, I'm gonna do this in reverse thing. I'm normally gonna use this to charge the RV, but because I want to do this test, I'm gonna use the RV to charge this. So we're pulling 1100 watts. Now I have a 2000 watt inverter. So it's running a little over 50% capacity. I don't know what that beeping was all about. I have a feeling that that's, by the time that's charged, that's really gonna pull my batteries down. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I might have to finish charging that plugged into the garage, or plugging it into the garage, not the RV. We're leaving the RV unplugged. And I want to get this done before I get too much sun on the RV. I don't want the solar system really coming into play during this experiment. It's still shaded. We'll be okay for a little while. I think we already got time to do this. Now I know some of you know that I got a similar unit a while back and did a review on it, and it worked well. But I didn't have all this mess come into play at that time. And I had it, and I was getting offers on more of them, and tell you the truth, I could have had probably a stack of 8 or 10 of these things. I've gotten a lot of offers on these different brands, and I'm like, so I thought, you know, I could easily have a second one, or a third, or a fourth. I could have a bunch of them. But what I ended up doing was I thought, I am going to go ahead and get another one, and I gave that first one to my buddy. And what was funny is, you know, we've had a couple pretty strong storms this year, and back when the bounder was still, had the bounder up here when I was getting it ready to sell, yeah, the power went out, and it went out for a very large area, and they weren't sure when it was going to be, when it's going to be able to get it back on. So initially, so the first storm, the bounder was sitting here, and well, of course, I had the RV, I had my own generator. So I just fired up my generator for power. Yeah, power went out here. It's like, run the generator, because it was real hot. It was still midsummer. It was bad summer storms, and it was hot and muggy. So I fired up my generator and ran my roof air conditioner. Puh. And so my buddy, you know, he's got a refrigerator and so on in there with no power. With the bounder sitting here, we just started the generator up on the bounder as well. And we run an extension cord, and he powered his refrigerator and TV that evening and stuff with the generator and the bounder running. Well, once the bounder was gone, now we had a second bad storm. It was without power again, and I thought, I told him, well, bounder's gone, but so I loaned him the other big battery thingy, the other 2,000 watt battery. Portable battery. I'll get the terminology down straight one of these days. I let him use it till power came back on. And then I thought, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and get another one of these and try it out. And they're real similar, different brand names. I wouldn't be surprised if you tore them apart if they was dang near identical. They both have the quick charge times and such. Yeah, but this one has that cool compartment in it. But anyway, I gave that to him. So, you know, sometimes even during the winter months, you never know when a bad storm's gonna hit, or a branch is gonna come down and take power out. But especially even in the wintertime, there's ice storms sometimes that damages power lines and stuff. So I just gave him that other one, and he'll be covered. He'll have that, and power goes out for any reason, it'll be backup, emergency backup power. So outside of that, I don't know what I might use it for. I'd better check on this. It sounds quiet over here. Uh-oh. I think my system's something gave out. What died? I hope it's not my inverter back here. I might have to reset something. No, the problem was and it's good to know, the power strip, even though it's rated at 15 amp, they have a little reset. They have their own little built-in breaker, so the little breaker trips on that power strip. So it's good. That's why they're there. They're meant to prevent from overload protection. It's good to know that works. So instead of using that power strip, I just went ahead and plugged it in directly to the inverter. Everything's fine. We've resumed charging. Up to 60%. This is actually turning out to be a very good exercise because it really puts my onboard system in the RV to the test. I mean, I would never do this. This, we got some bad reflection going on, but we're up to 76%. We're still pulling 1100 watts. And the inverter, and I have a 2000 watt inverter, and pulling that many watts, the cooling fans run continuously. So it's just working steady. It's just barely warm to the touch, so I mean barely. I mean, we can almost call that warm. It's certainly not hot. Yeah, but the fans are doing their job. They're pulling the, air through there, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. And it gave me a chance too to go around and feel all my wires, if any wires or leads or connections or anything were getting hot. So I tested. I pulled the step up for a minute, and I felt the cables on my batteries and the cables to the batteries. Let me back up to this one here. The cable from the battery to battery felt perfectly cool. The longer cable that goes back to my other two batteries, they also feel cool. And then there's cables that connect those two, and everything between my batteries all feels very cool. Now these two wires here, collectively that's a lot of power in 4 batteries. So the lead from the battery to here is that's obviously the greatest amount of power. These two here, they feel a little bit warm. A little bit warm, but they are pulling a lot of power. I mean, not bad. So, and this would be the highest demand I would ever do. Pulling 1100 watts for this length of time, this is just never going to happen. This is just like a one-time test because I want to pull these batteries down for this little experiment. The worst I would do with this is pull 6 or 7 instead of 1100 watts, 600 or 700 for like 3 minutes, like I was making a little cup of coffee. So it would never work this hard. I'd never be pulling this kind of power for my system. Yep, the fire extinguisher down there. That seemed like a handy place to keep one. All right, we're gonna let this go a little bit longer, and we're up to 79%. We'll see if I have enough power. We'll see if I have enough power to. I'll still have a little bit left over. And I want to drain my batteries down for the experiment, but I don't want to kill them either. So I got to keep an eye on this, and because this holds a massive amount of power. Okay, I'll admit these are not cheap, but when you consider the lifespan of these, it's pretty considerable. They advertise it at 3,500 cycles. I'm just looking on their website here now about the, just some various specs, but this one really catches my eye. The 3,500 cycles. That would be if you, we'll just kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's round that up to 3,650, or because 3,650. It's like if you went from 0, if you discharged it completely and then recharged it to 100%, 3,650 times, that's 10 years. So 35 is just something short of that. 9 2/3 year, something like that. I mean, that's if you're completely discharging and recharging every day, almost 10 years. This thing will outlive me, because, I mean, I'd be lucky, I probably won't even do that weekly. Complete discharge and recharge. Even if you did it weekly, that's 52. What's 52 into 30? What's 52 into 3,500? That's how many years would that be? Dun, 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 you know. So in other words, this would last probably most people's lifetimes, or what's left of it. Like it'll outlast me. Dude, that's kind of hard to say that. 3,500 cycles, and if I do it once a week, divided by 52 equals, oops, uh-oh, what'd I do? 3,500 divided by 52 equals 67 years. And these aren't like lead acid batteries that you can buy a brand new one, you put it on a shelf for enough years, they go bad. Because they'll lose their discharge, and then and that kills them. They shouldn't be taken down below a certain percentage, because then it damages them. That's not so with lithium, as I understand it. So that's gonna outlast me, and that one I gave my buddy, that'll last him his lifetime. Pretty incredible. And there we are. We're down to about 50%. So that's getting fairly discharged. It's about, yeah, I think it's down to 12, down to 12. It's that's getting pretty low for a lead acid battery. So I am finishing it up back here. Yeah, that's still had just a little ways to go yet. And my lead acid batteries are getting down about as far as I wanted to take them. It's almost done. We're still pretty good. We're still in the shade, so I'm gonna plug, and I wanted this back here anyway because I'm gonna plug that cord into that, turn it on, and you'll see how much power the RV actually draws. Now I know the onboard battery charger is gonna kick on because I run my lead acid batteries down to 50% or even a little bit lower. So I know that 55 amperes is gonna come on and start doing that. I don't know what else really is going to come on. I mean, other than like the clock on the microwave and, you know, some little things I know will. And what else? I mean, that's going to power. Oh, I don't know. I think that's it really. We'll find out. We'll see how much it draws, what that means in wattage. You know, actually, it's not estimating like 55 amps. You can do the conversion, you know, try to figure out all this other stuff. And maybe things I didn't think of. Once that's plugged in and turned on, that's going to get to the bottom of it all. What it all is collectively, how much is really. There's no estimating there. That's going to tell in real time exactly what's being drawn. And as you see, I did unplug the RV from this. I didn't want to accidentally be recharging what I just uncharged. So I unplugged out the RV out of that and just plugged this. Just plug this into the generator. That's all plugged into the generator. So that's at 9% and a little bit. We'll let that finish up and we'll proceed. We'll get that plugged in and see where we're at. Okay, we have reached a 100%. All right. Yeah, I know these displays and cameras don't get along very well. That's actually the steady light. It's not blinking like that. But we are at 100% now. So what I'm going to do is get the RV cord, and I'm going to get my this dog bone, and I don't know why they call them dog bones. It doesn't look like a dog bone to me. Let's ask an expert. Bella, you want this? Come here. Come here. Does that look like something you want? No, it doesn't pass the smell test, does it? See, so that's not dog bone. I know you humans are stupid, but come on. All right, I'm gonna get this. We're gonna plug this into here, and you know, I was gonna replace this thing. And boy, that thing's probably old and decrepit inside and getting all weird. But, I took it apart, and you know what? It might be an oldie, but it's a goodie. The contacts are all still really nice in it, and the inside connections are actually nicer than and are heavier duty than what's in these Camco replacements. So I put it all back together. I'm like, I'm not. That's nice. I don't even know if you can still get them anymore. But so we're gonna plug the old thing into this adapter. I'm just gonna call it an adapter, and I'm gonna plug it into this. There, over here on the other side. And hang on. Oh, wait a minute. I can find out two things here by simply doing something. I want to turn my inverter off because I'm going to be able to tell two different things. Where's my inverter? Okay, let's go back out. I'm coming. I'm right here. All right, the one with the inverter off, the one thing we should be able to tell is when I plug this in, the only thing that it should be powering is the battery, the onboard battery charger, which is should come on at 55 amps, and you know, maybe a couple things like the microwave clock. Nothing too major. Now, I'm gonna move this over a bit. All right, I have it plugged in. Nothing yet. I think these are turned on by this. All right. Let's see what starts to happen here. The output says 700. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's 782 watts. So, yeah, I don't know if you can, yeah. So that's actually, it's more than I thought it would be. Oh, do I feel dumb all of a sudden? And I know some of you said, nah, Dave, something's wrong. You must have left something on, turned on inside the RV, and I did. I didn't realize from this morning I had the electric heater in there on, so that was less than 100 watts, that battery charger. Okay, see, some of you said, Dave, something's not right, Dave. Probably trying to yell at me. And now it's estimated that it'll run for 13 hours. 13 more hours at this rate. So that 96 is with the battery charger and the inverter and power strip on, with the laptop and cell phones and all that stuff going on. And yeah, it's like being plugged in for 13 hours. So even at that, low batteries, you know, out there this winter, plug this thing on like it's being plugged in for, you know, 13 hours. And that's gonna make my batteries pretty stinking happy. And at the same time, there will be some solar contributing to that too. So this is definitely gonna be the big saver of all things. You ever be out boondocking and for a stretch and your batteries are getting low and you know it, and you say, you know what, this free camping and just being out in the middle of nowhere is nice and everything, but maybe we should just go to a park and plug in for a day and let the house batteries get all charged back up, and any other devices we might have. And you know, while we're there, you know, if you have any big toys like the e-bike, you know, anything with big demands, rechargeable power tools and anything you can think of that's rechargeable, you take advantage of it while you're plugged in. Just get everything all back up to and start and go out and start fresh again. Well, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like what we're doing there. That's the equivalent of being plugged in somewhere. It's full, you know, 110 volt, so you know, house current. So that, and using it in two, maybe using that in just a regular mix of daily things, so that really the batteries don't get depleted to begin with, you know, because of the solar. Just giving them giving the batteries a break, the system a break, lightening the load, giving them a chance for the solar to get them caught back up, and just using that kind of through as the days pass, and just kind of lighten the load on that for a while. And then when the time comes, throw it on the generator for an hour and a half, and get on with things. And you've never depleted the house batteries to begin with. So I think it's going to be a real problem solver for me. And I'm not going to worry about having to run the generator all day to charge the e-bike or this or that or the Coachman. You know, maybe for an hour and a half once in a while to top that thing off. So we'll see how this all goes, but I think it's going to work. It's absolutely going to help. It's more power the better. I just don't, like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't want to be one of those that's like, oh, you know, my poor batteries and I don't have enough solar, and I want to have my stuff covered and be able to do extra. and I think I got it now. Well, if nothing else in this video, I hope you understand the advantage of that quick charge feature. Just being able to pile that much power in a short amount of time, and then you have it. Then you have to use it. You don't have to run the generator for forever. That's just a huge bonus. And already in that short time, we're up to 13 volts already. So it's well on its way. It's well on its way. And you'll notice we're still mostly in the shade. A little bit of sun is probably starting to touch that front panels a tiny bit. So I went back through my emails about this, and there's no special discount code offered, but they are on sale right now. They were $16.99, and they are marked $200 off at $14.99. But I will leave the, of course, I'll leave the link to this unit down in the video description. All right. Moving forward. I'll see you soon.